views and opinions shared by our guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Nexstar or its team.
If you've saved more than $400,000, taxes could be a serious problem in retirement. Here to talk about it is Matt Glass, founder of Glass Wealth Management in Greenville, a financial advisory firm dedicated to helping people plan for a better retirement. Matt, thank you so much. Welcome to Your Carolina.
Thanks, Marcus.
Yeah,
thanks for having me, man.
So you're saying people in retirement, taxes are going to be a big issue. A lot of people talking about it, and why is that the case?
Well, let's just look at the math, Jamarcus. So right now we've got national deficits that are at all-time highs. Mm-hmm. And other than a few years in the early 90s, income taxes are near all-time lows. So the math doesn't work there. Something's got to give. Historically, it hasn't been the deficit, right? So the reality is if you have the majority of your assets in pre-taxed accounts, 401ks, IRAs, like a lot of people do, if taxes were to go up 15, 20%, that could be very problematic.
Yeah, so it's definitely one of those things that you got to watch out for. You want to make sure you're working with someone that can kind of walk you through that. You talk of something called the tax trap. Yes. And retirees walking right into it. What is that tax trap?
Well, Jamarcus, let me just paint a picture for you, okay? So let's say you come into retirement and you've got a bucket list, and there's all this fun stuff, all these experiences you want to have, right? And then 10, 15 years into it, you've kind of checked all those boxes, right? And so after that, life just kind of settles down and gets much more routine, right? We have a consistent rhythm to our life. Expenses kind of drop, spending kind of slows down because you kind of done all the stuff. And let's say that you're left with $400,000 of assets in pre-taxed accounts, right? Well, by the time you pass away, hopefully in your mid-90s, that $400,000 might turn into $2 million, right? And what people don't understand is if they don't get those assets out of those pre-taxed accounts, the IRS is going to require that their beneficiaries, their loved ones, their children, has 10 years to get that money out of that account into their names. Well, statistically, they're going to be in their 50s. They're already going to be in a higher tax bracket. So all of these withdrawals going into their name is going to immediately throw them in the highest tax bracket. Right now, that's close to 40%. By the time they get there, taxes more than likely will be raised to 50, 60%. So the reality is if you don't do something different than what you're doing, the IRS is going to get half or even more of those assets that's meant for your loved ones.
So just letting it sit there, not a good option.
I'm just curious, looking at Matt, I mean, how the heck did he get so smart as young as he is?
I mean, he knows his stuff, which is good.
Yeah,
well, now, where's the book? We were talking about a book.
Yes, so we have a book, Retire on the Glass Path. You can find that on Amazon, or if you want to stop by the office, we're located on Lawrence Road. Be happy to give you a copy for free.
Okay.
That'll kind of unpack kind of our concepts and why we think this is so important.
And you guys talk a lot about structure in that book. Why is structure so important? Obviously, when you're dealing in retirement, like you're saying, people want to live out their best lives and want to do all these bucket list items. You want to make sure that you're using your money and protecting it at the same time.
Correct. Yeah, structure. We preach on structure so much because we believe that you need to kind of segment out your assets for income and then segment out assets for growth. And if you can kind of identify which assets are for growth and which is for income, then we can work on tax strategies within that growth model to get them out of those pre-taxed accounts over into tax-free accounts. And we're not as worried on the assets that are segmented for income because we're just going to pay taxes as we go. So if you can structure your plan more clearly, more systematically, the path to kind of getting out of this tax trap becomes a lot more clear.
Well, you know, he mentioned, and I know it's true, I'm not there yet, but I'm going, people are living longer. And you mentioned like 90, mid-90s, and at some point, older folks kind of run out of money too.
And you know, in our seminars, which we've got a seminar coming up at the Greer Library this Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay.
So you can find that on our website. It starts at 6 p.m. It's a free event. But we talk a lot about how people live longer and longer and longer, and that's great for relationships. However, for financials, right? You know, if you get through a market downturn, inflation, cost of living, all these things, it just becomes much more important to plan out better because you've just got a longer time period to have to plan out.
I mean, it's great information and delivered in such a nice and comfortable tone, which is folks can reach out to you if they want to have you look at their accounts to kind of see exactly where they are and what they should be doing.
So Jamarcus, we offer a free complimentary tax saving analysis. We'll just do a comparison. Hey, if you just kind of continue on this path, this is what your reality is. And then if you're asking us for our best advice, this is what the changes that we feel like you should make. And we need to try to get out in front of this, because a lot of times the worst thing you could do is nothing, right?
Yeah.
And so feel free to reach out to us. It's 864-920-1104 is our direct line. We'd be more than happy to talk to you.
Awesome. We'll be sure to put all that information, all the numbers on our website, yourcarolina.tv, but take advantage of those seminars happening in Greer. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Welcome to YC. Come back and see us again.
All right. Thanks so much.
Smart guy.
Yeah. Okay.